So, I've completed Pokemon Violet, and I'm currently playing through Pokemon Scarlet, and I thought, while it's fresh on my mind, let's do a review, my honest thoughts and opinions on this game, and ask myself, are these good Pokemon games? Should you pay for this game full price, wait for it to go on sale, or not buy it at all? So let's dive right into this. Also, before we get started, I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, so don't worry, but I've written down a bunch of notes, and I feel like it might be all over the place, so apologies. This is going to be like a casual review. So, first of all, the open world. This is the first truly open world Pokemon experience we've got. We had Legends Arceus, which was open area, which I really enjoyed, but coming into an open world, did Game Freak deliver? And to answer that, kind of. Like, there was a lot I liked about this game, but there was a lot I think they could improve on, or they got wrong. So, first of all, the open world, I felt there was no mystery to this big map. You got a nice big map, you can go anywhere. You got the Great Crater in the middle, which is like a little bit of a mystery as soon as you start the game off, because you don't know what to expect down there, like end game like content right there, but everywhere else on the map, you can go. And I just felt there was no mystery, nothing to really explore that's worthwhile exploring. Like, if you look at old Pokemon games, can you remember like playing Black and White for the first time? You find the Relic Castle, bam, that awesome area to go explore. You go to a cave and you can't do anything with it because you don't have strength, you don't have Rock Smash, you don't have Surf, you don't have Waterfall, you don't have Dive. Can you imagine like diving down in, I think it was Black and White 2, and you find like the ancient ruins and stuff, or Ruby and Sapphire diving down, finding the Reggie's like little lair. Stuff like that does not exist in this game. I felt like they kind of dropped the ball. Like, when I was playing through the game, I best compared it to like Genshin Impact. If you play Genshin Impact, big open world game, but something that Genshin does that I think is really awesome is when you get to an area, you might explore and go, okay, this is kind of cool, but then you'll find like a little mystery. For example, Sumeru, the new area, you'll find like a area that's corrupted. You can just like cleanse it, do like a little fight, little puzzle, bam, unlocks a new area of the map. Go and explore that. Like, the water in a cave might just like start going down. You can explore a big new open area. There is nothing like that in this game, and I kind of wish there was, because you got so many things you could do. Like, you could have, like, for example, the pseudo legendary. You can find it really easy, just like in the snowy place. But you could do like an ice puzzle, going through a cave, push some boulders, bam. It's in like a certain area that you have to unlock. Like, they could do some really cool stuff with it. And then with the open world as well, there's just like no houses to go into. You get to a town or a gym and you're just like, okay, I guess I can buy food and take on the gym and then I'll go on my way. There is nothing to explore. There's no side quest to pick up. Like, what happened? Legends Arceus, I was praising that because there was so much side content to do. It was such an awesome like experience. Then you come to this and just like, where are the side quests at? You know? Why can't I go in these towns? Why can't I go in these houses? You got these like beautiful towns, but you can't do anything with it. It just felt like Sword and Shield again, where the fairy gym was, that really beautiful, beautiful town. It looked so awesome, but there's nothing to do there. And this is worse because you can't even go into any of the houses. It's like, what is going on? And then lastly, I was led to believe I could play this game how I wanted. I could take on the story in my own way, which technically you can do, but you shouldn't. There is a set path in which you should do each gym, Team Star Boss, and Titan. The game doesn't tell you what it is, but there is a set path. If you don't follow the set path, you're either going to be over-leveled or you're going to be under-leveled. And you get to a point you think, okay, I'm under-leveled, I'm going to grind up. Great. Then you're a good level, but then you're over-leveled for everything else, which is really annoying. And some of the placements I don't think make sense. Like the way I explored the map, I got to the Ice-type gym before the Ghost-type gym, but the Ghost-type gym is weaker than the Ice-type gym. I got to the Fighting Team Star Boss before the Fairy-type, and the Fairy-type is weaker than the Fighting-type. I think Game Freak need to either let us know the levels and go, oh, here's a kind of level range for this boss, here's a one for this one. Like, the wild Pokemon didn't really give me any indication. Like, you kind of got an idea, like, okay, a little bit strong here, but once you kind of reach the later levels, it makes no difference. You can't really tell. And I think the way to fix this is easy. All they've got to do is, for example, I take on the Bug-type gym leader first. Bam. She has a 1-badge team. I take her on 5th. She has a team for a 5th badge battle. I take her on last. She has a team for an 8th gym badge battle. Easy fix. Easy fix. That's what they need to do, because playing through the game myself, I was getting under-leveled. I was like, oh, okay. Then I'd go take on this gym. Bam. Over-leveled. Go take on this battle. I'm under-leveled again. Now I'm over-leveled. It was just really annoying. It wasn't till I kind of figured out for myself which way I need to go, which was kind of later game, that I kind of made it kind of a good difficulty for myself, because I wasn't over-leveled or under-leveled. Okay, next segment. The elephant in the room. The performance. So, first of all, to Game Freak's defense, I have never played an open world game that has not experienced some bugs. Cyberpunk, Skyrim, Fallout, just every open world game are just super buggy. Always. I've never seen a perfect open world game, but yeah, some of the bugs in this game I've seen are absolutely hilarious. Personally, the only ones I experienced was I clipped through the floor a couple of times, or the camera clipped through the floor in battles. Kind of long loading times. Once I finished the main game and I was waiting for that final cutscene to pop up, I thought my game crashed. It was like a black screen for like, I think about 45 seconds to a minute, and I was like, oh no, nothing's happening, no sound, no nothing. I experienced one crash, but that was because I found an area with so many Pokemon. I sent out one of my Pokemon in Let's Go mode, and I was just like going bam, 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 and just bam, crash the game. That was once. And then just a few frame rate issues, and like you've obviously seen, if you watched the playthrough, you saw some characters just walking like all blocky, like and you're like, oh, that looks awful. That looks awful. The graphics, I mean, they could be better. I will say the Pokemon, I do like the look of the Pokemon, like the metallic, the metal Pokemon, the metallic shine on them looks so good. Pokemon like Fur looks so good. Like, I think they're the best looking Pokemon we've had in a long time. Just a shame about a lot of the world. Like the characters, I think characters look alright. I like the kind of design of them. Like, I don't know, reminds me a bit of Pokemon Snap. Not as good graphics as Pokemon Snap, but I don't mind that. But the world could be a little nicer. But I don't know what's to blame for the performance. Like, if you look at other open world games on the Switch, like Xenoblade Chronicles looks beautiful. So is it Game Freak's fault for not optimizing the Switch? Or is the Switch just underpowered? Well, I don't think it's going to be underpowered. Well, it is obviously underpowered compared to other things. But if Xenoblade can look really nice, why can't Pokemon? And then you got Game Freak under a time constraint, which is probably playing a big role in this. And I was thinking, I think it's got to the point now where Game Freak need to take their time with a game. No more like time constraints. Like, I know with Pokemon you kind of have to, because obviously this is launching a generation of anime, trading cards, merch. But why does the game have to be the one to reveal everything now? I think if the game is not ready, you just gotta delay it. Use the trading card, use the anime to push that new generation, because doing it with the games, with how they are now compared to back in the day where, you know, they used to be handheld games, now like they're big full-fledged open world games, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Like, the game is good, but it needs a lot of polish. I'm sure a year down the line, if you're watching this a year down the line when it came out, the game probably runs a lot better with patches and stuff. Like, you look at Cyberpunk, that game full of bugs, and then when I started playing it again because of the Edge Runners anime, loved it. Experienced nothing. It was so good, and I'm sure this will happen with Pokemon as well, but it just felt like they pushed it out as fast as they could just to get it out on that deadline, and I don't think that was a good idea. I'm not sure if maybe how big Game Freak is, but pushing out 2 big Pokemon games in the same year, with Legends Arceus January and then Scarlet and Violet 10 months later in November, I don't think that was the right move. But the performance, it's a shame. Like, it didn't affect my gameplay too much, but it was not very noticeable. I've seen a lot of people have way way worse experience than me, which is it's kind of funny to see. I love seeing the screenshots, the clips. They are quite funny. But if you haven't played the game yet, you might experience none at all, which will be great. That is the ideal situation. You might be like me, experience a couple, or you could be experiencing a load of bugs and just ruin your complete gameplay experience. So be careful with that. So now onto a more positive note, the story. So I'm pleased to say the story for Pokemon actually exists this time. It's actually really good. So we have four stories, 3 with being the Titan, the Victory Road, and then the Team Star story. Then all come together at the end with a 4th story, which I'm not going to spoil, but let's go through each story. So the Victory Road story, just taking on the gyms, doing the Elite Four, very, very good. Like, the characters you meet throughout it are really interesting. Nemona really carries the story though. Nemona is definitely my favorite rival in any Pokemon game. She brings you up and she's so powerful. Like, I don't want to spoil what the champion says about Nemona, but let's just say Nemona is not someone to mess around with. Nemona is a really, really cool character, and I really liked seeing her throughout the whole story. Then moving on to the Team Star story. At first, I'll be honest, did not care for Team Star. Like, I like cool evil teams, and then I saw Team Star and thought, oh, they look kind of bad, just school bullies. But no. When you find out more about Team Star, why they were formed, who they are as people, I really fell for them. I connected with them a little bit. It hit home somewhat, and depending on how you kind of, I guess, grew up in school, you might connect with them more or less. We'll see. But I really did kind of tear up at the end a little bit. I don't usually get too emotional, especially with like Pokemon games, but I was like, oh wow, this actually was really well told, and I really connected with a lot of the Team Star members, and I really did enjoy the story. And you know me, I play a lot of fan games and stuff because I prefer the story. I like the story in Pokemon. I love this world, but this game really did well compared to Sword and Shield. The story for me, amazing. And then going on to the Titan story, again, almost teared up again because what Arvin went through, I've gone through, you know, to some extent. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but playing through the Titan story, you're taking these Titans, which is really cool for a reason. But then when you find out why Arvin is doing this, like, it depends, again, how you grow up. You might be like Arvin, like me, and you might think, oh man, I can see why he's doing this. So good. And yeah, I love the story. But then we get to the end. So I was trying to think of a way to best explain this without spoiling it. And this is what I come up with. So if this doesn't make sense, I'm sorry, but so to me, the final story, it was good, but it was like going to a restaurant and only getting dessert. You know, you got a 3-course meal lined up, but you only get dessert. You're like, oh, this dessert's good, but it would have been better if I had that, you know, that starter first to kind of get me ready for my meal, had that main course, that really lovely steak dinner, and it was, oh, no, so good. And then you go, oh, get a bit full, let's top it off with dessert. And then you're like, at the end of it, you're like, that was the greatest meal of my life. It kind of felt like I just got dessert and was like, oh, I mean, it was good. It would have been better if I had more to it, you know? Like, I really felt like they should have expanded more on this story, or like put it throughout the game more. There was like little sprinkles in each of the stories, but not too much where you really notice or even care. So, I mean, altogether, great story, but I felt like the ending bit could have been a lot more better, a lot more interesting. So next I want to talk about the difficulty. So unless you do this out of order, like I said, you could either be under-leveled or over-leveled. The game could be super easy or super hard depending on which way you go. But if you follow the right, correct path, which there is one, like I said, the game is actually not too easy. There were some battles where the gym leaders, I was so surprised by their moves. They actually, like, for example, the ice-type gym leader had rock moves, water moves, what else was it? It was something else. They were covering their weaknesses and they just kind of wrecked me a little bit. I still won, but it wasn't easy. And then the end game fights with like going into the end arc and the last part of the story. Again, when they're level 16 plus, it was like, oh, pretty tough. Not gonna lie, in the post-game battles as well. I mean, actually a pretty good challenge. Just wish there was a little bit more to it, you know. The post-game, there's not much post-game, but what there is actually a little bit challenging. Like, obviously with Pokemon, you could just go, oh, I'm gonna battle the ice type gym, I'm gonna bring in all the type advantage and win. But if you're playing like me and just go, this is my 6 team I really enjoy, I want to use this 6 team, and you got some weakness, some disadvantage, it actually is quite a good challenge. And I think maybe for a Nuzlocke, this would actually be a good challenge for a Nuzlocke series. But yeah, that's that. I like the difficulty. Next, the customization. Oh my god. Why? Why did they take 1 step forward, 2 steps back? Like, I get it. You're in a school and you got the school uniform, you kind of got to keep it. But the customization in this game sucked. It honestly sucked. Did not like it at all. Like, my character looked awful. I want more customization. Sword and Shield had quite a bit. I thought, to me, I still think X and Y had like my favorite outfits and everything. But I just felt like the customization in this game really sucked. I did like being able to customize your phone case. That was really cool. But please just let me change my whole outfit. Like, why can some students in the game, for example Penny, wear what they want? But me, I have to be a good boy and wear an outfit. Don't like it. Let me wear what I want. Next, the Let's Go mode. Let's Go mode, I actually really did enjoy this. But it bugged out for me a little bit sometimes. Like, I'd send my Pokemon out to go fight a few and they just would walk around, do nothing. So I think like a few tweaks, I really hope this would be like a permanent feature in Pokemon. It was really cool just to be able to get Pokemon to like go out and battle and walk with me. So we'll see. But I personally, at one point I thought I was like pressing the wrong button, but I looked like at the tutorial bit again. I was like, no, I'm doing it right. I just think maybe there needs to have a few more options to control it better, or maybe I just suck with the controls. I don't know. I felt like I was doing it right, and it wasn't. Next, this is the thing that's everyone's gonna have different opinions on. But for me, the Pokemon in this game, the Pokedex, one of the best we've had in a long time. There were so many Pokemon in this game I loved. With, for example, Ceruledge being one of the greatest Pokemon to ever exist. Easily in my I'd probably say top 5, honestly. Loved it. There was some Pokemon, not going to spoil what it is, but if you go watch my part 15, when I battle the normal type gym leader, you'll see my reaction. There was a few Pokemon in this game sucked. And one of the evolutions I thought were downright lazy. I hated it so much. I thought they'd done my boy dirty, and it could have been so good. But one thing I hoped for in this game, which they actually did, which I'm so happy about, is I personally love it when you get old Pokemon get evolutions. I'm not talking about new forms or anything like that, or like regionals. I want proper evolutions. And like with Girafarig, which you saw in the trailer, we got. And that, for Rigorath, I love that Pokemon 2 bits. And there was more evolutions, and I was like so happy when I saw him. I was like, yes, bring more love to older Pokemon through evolutions. That's what we need. Well, that's what I personally want. But there was a lot of Pokemon, I'm not going to spoil it because they haven't been officially revealed, but a lot of Pokemon in this game I thought were banging. Like, Sword and Shield, the last like Generation 8, I would say half the Pokedex I extremely loved, and the other half I extremely disliked. But this generation, I would say 80% of the Pokemon I really loved, really loved, and then 20% I thought were, well, I say like 10% okay, then 10% I really hated. And I thought they did a good job with placing the Pokemon in certain locations. Like, when I play a new Pokemon game, I want to just use brand new Pokemon. And within the first hour of this game, I had a brand new team, a full team of 6 of brand new Pokemon. It wasn't just like, oh, here's like 2 new Pokemon, we're going to fill it with old Pokemon you've seen for, the past 20 years. No, they actually filled a lot. So many new Pokemon everywhere, and every new place I went to, new Pokemon, bam. Loved it. Loved that experience so much. I touched on the post game a little bit, but I want to just say, I thought it was a little bit lackluster, but I know that's because we're going to get DLC, which I don't know much about. I heard rumors are going to be part of Carlos, which, I mean, I'm down for that. But if the DLC is anything like Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, I'm a little bit excited because, as you know, I did not like Sword and Shield. I hated that game. I wish it was better because obviously me being from the UK, the Gala region, region based on my country, I wanted it to be the best, and it was not. But the DLC was very good. The Isle of Armor, loved that. I thought the Isle of Armor, just that one little DLC, was better than the whole of Sword and Shield as a whole. And then the Crown Tundra was also really good. So excited for the DLC of this. But that kind of leads me onto a question I have. Version difference. Why is this still a thing? With Legends Arceus, just one complete game, awesome. And then going into this game, I didn't know what I wanted to play. Like Scarlet or Violet. I ultimately picked Violet because Ceruledge, I like that Pokemon so much. But playing through this game, I honestly do not see a reason to have version differences anymore. Like, why can't I just load up the game and you can choose past or future, and then you can just basically have the experience like that, you know? I don't think that there was no reason for this game to be split up into two. There was not much of a big difference. The only difference was the legendary Pokemon you ride, the professor being man or woman, and then some Pokemon differences. Oh, and the academy being either orange or purple. That was literally the only differences I saw in the whole game. And I felt that was so poor. So poor. Like, I felt like with each generation now, the version differences is getting less and less. Like, at least with Black and White, we had like a completely new town to explore and stuff. And just, I think either drop the version differences or give me enough to actually warrant buying 2 copies. Because at this point, I felt like they're just doing it because that's what they did back in the day. And it just, there is no difference, really. No difference at all. So overall, I think Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are good games that are held back by performance issues, the time constraint of Game Freak trying to get it out to launch a generation. I think in time, this will be a better game with patches and whatnot. But I think it's time for Game Freak to just slow it down, take their time, and just push out a quality product. I want people to, when these reviews come out, I want people to play these games, not have to go, you know, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. These games are full of bugs. I want people to go in this going, this is the best Pokemon game I've ever played. And to me, I did enjoy these games. 100%. I think they're one of the best Switch games. I think for me, it was Legends Arceus #1, then this, then Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, then I don't know about Diamond and Pearl and Sword and Shield. I can flip them too, really. But like, it's definitely up there. And I think it's definitely an improvement from last generation. But I think they need to just really reevaluate how they go about Pokemon games now. Because back in the day with, you know, the sprite-based small handheld games, that must have been so much easier to make than a full 3D model open world game, which I just don't think they have the time. They should have the resources, but clearly not if they can't optimize this really well. They just need more manpower or just more time. They need something to just fix what this like little crack they've got that's bleeding out the quality of the games. So should you buy this game? I think yeah. I think as a Pokemon game, you will enjoy it. Despite the bugs and performance and all, you will enjoy this game. I would probably recommend wait for it to go on sale, but Pokemon games don't really often go on sale too much. But I think it's definitely a good game. I really enjoyed my time, but playing for a second time is a little bit grueling. I can just see all these glaring issues, and I think in time, the series can and is heading in the right direction. But right now, it's just, they are good, okay games, you know? So that's my honest thoughts on Scarlet and Violet. Good, okay games that head in the right direction and full of bugs that will likely get patched in the future. So let me know what you guys thought of the game. Are you guys enjoying your time playing with it? Are you going to buy it for Christmas? After Christmas, you're going to just wait for DLC, see how that drops? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to know. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great day. Peace.